we did it to ourselves. I hate to say it. We overemphasized this rugged individualism ideal in the United States, and it's backfired on a number of levels. One, we've put massive pressure on a young generation that they have to have everything figured out by themselves, do it all themselves, work hard, have a vision, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Know your purpose, which is, by the way, no human being is strong enough to do that alone. And we've forgotten the value of service. Service to our fellow human beings, service to our community. There's just sort of a decline in the sense of taking care of each other. And the great irony is, as social animals, we only thrive as individuals when we also take care of each other. I mean, even Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is so popular even in the business world. And if you consider, Maslow made a massive mistake, right? Which is, there is an inherent paradox to being human, which is every moment of every day, we are both individuals and members of groups. Mm-hmm. Every day, right? Every day, I am confronted with little and big decisions. Do I prioritize myself at the expense of the group, or do I prioritize the group at the expense of myself? There's an entire school of thought that says, no, you have to take care of yourself first so that you'll be healthy to take care of the group. And there's another entire school of thought that says, no, you have to take care of the group so that they can take care of you when you need it. And the answer is, you're both right and you're both wrong. It's a paradox. Mm. And this is what Maslow got wrong. At the base of his pyramid is food and shelter. And on the third level up is relationships. I've never heard of anyone dying of suicide because they were hungry, right? We die of suicide because we're lonely. In other words, there's something more important than food and shelter. If you only consider us as individuals, Maslow nailed it. You got it 100% right. The problem is, he forgot that we're also members of groups. And that's the problem. He's only half right. And we've so prioritized, and think about what's at the top of Maslow's hierarchy: self-actualization. How gross is that? That I literally sit on the top of a pyramid. I am at the highest point, looking down, self-actualized, me. Again, what about shared actualization? Yeah. What about that we grow as a community and take care of each other, and we take a tremendous joy at the success of others? Any parent knows this, right? The intense joy a parent gets to see their child succeed. Well, that's nothing to do with you, but it is. It's your family. It's your paying it forward. It's all those years of sacrifice that finally bear fruit. And there's something to be said for taking joy in the success of our colleagues and our coworkers and our friends, as opposed to being angry and bitter and what about me? Like I said, we've over-indexed the rugged individualism. I think we can do a lot more. And as if I haven't beaten this horse to death, I'll add one more thing, just to reinforce the point more. There's an entire section in the bookshop called self-help, and there is no section in the bookshop called help others. This is a problem. For Dr. James Carse, who in the mid-1980s articulated these two types of games, finite games and infinite games. A finite game is defined as known players, fixed rules, and an agreed upon objective. Football, baseball. There's always a beginning, middle, and an end. And if there's a winner, necessarily there has to be a loser. And then you have infinite games. Infinite games are defined as known and unknown players, which means new players can join at any time. The rules are changeable, which means everyone can play however they want. And the objective is to perpetuate the game, to stay in the game as long as possible. Turns out we're players in infinite games every day of our lives. There's no such thing as winning global politics. There's no such thing as winning education. You can come in first for the finite amount of time you're at school, because there's an agreed upon metric system and there's agreed upon standards as to what first looks like, but nobody wins education. Nobody gets declared the winner of careers. And there's definitely no such thing as winning business or winning politics. You can win an election, but you can't win politics. But if we listen to the language of so many of our leaders, it becomes abundantly clear that they don't know the game they're playing in. They talk about being number one, being the best, or beating their competition. Based on what? Based upon what agreed upon objectives, metrics, or timeframes. And this is a serious problem, because when we play with a finite mindset in an infinite game, when we play to win in a game that has no finish line, there are some consistent and predictable outcomes. The big ones include the decline of trust, the decline of cooperation, and the decline of innovation. When you talk about modern day politics, what do we see? Nothing short of decline of trust and decline of cooperation. They're not working together for the greater good. They're working together to see themselves reelected, whether as an individual or as a party, to stay in power. And sometimes that means doing things that will actually hurt us, the general population, the voter, to protect themselves or protect their images.